for tuning in to another great episode of Amazon Live.
Your audio
Should be. I just turned it on. Oh, uh-oh. Can you hear me now? How about now? Now? No?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Oh, they can hear me.
I just can't hear you.
It's all right. You don't matter. Ha! Just kidding. Paul matters. If you have a Paul matters. So again, guys, welcome back to another Explore Scientific Amazon Live. Today we're going to be talking about the big guns, the big kahunas, the little bitty Losmandy G11 with PMC-8. Yes, it's lowered all the way down so I can fit Big Bertha back here on it. Big Bertha is the TED 152. That's right, 152 millimeter scope. Thing is 7 feet long. Not really, but it only weighs 22 pounds. That's the most craziest thing ever. 22 pounds with a focal length, I think it is 1215. That is 1,200 millimeters of focal length. That is insane. Great for planets and deep sky objects too. We already got some wonderful comments on the show from Tarek. Howdy, how you doing, sir? Oh, Tyler, I feel you lost weight finally. Yeah, I know. I'm finally working on it. Paul made fun of me enough that I had to finally do something about it. I'm only down 50 pounds. I got another 30 more to go.
You deserved it.
I did. That's why I wear my big shirts. That way you can't tell. You know, if I wear the big shirts, you can't see anything. So again, we're going to talk about a Losmandy G11 with PMC-8. We have the Exos 2, just for comparison. I'm not sure if it's in the carousel. The Amazon guru is going to have to correct me if it is or is not.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Paul can't hear anything. He's finally gone mute. Darn. But we're also going to talk about the beautiful flagship, in my honest opinion, that went too fast, the ED-127. Why do I call this the flagship telescope? Why the voice went lower? Paul, why did my voice go lower? Everybody in the comments said my voice went lower. Tarek, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? It is live. Yes, Pekka, we are live. Crazy live. So we're going to talk about why is it important, honestly, to have a good mount. You know, I hear you, but it's low. That's what Tariq says, Paul.
There we go.
So we'll mess with a little bit. Is that better, Tariq?
I can hear you. Your audio is 5 by 5.
Oh, well then, it's just Paul that has to make some little minor tweaks.
No, it's something on Tariq's end.
Oh, well. You don't want to hear me, Tariq. I'm loud and obnoxious anyway, depending on who you ask. But why do you want a big mount? You know, what's the benefit? What's honestly the benefit of getting a humongous mount that handles a weight capacity of 60 pounds? With the PMC-8, it was honestly built for visual. Never mind, I can hear anyway. Attaboy. With the PMC-8, it was designed for visual astronomers, mainly in mind. But it has been quickly adopted for astrophotography. And what I mean by quickly, like overnight quickly, it was honestly, when we came out with them, some visual astronomers, I will talk, I swear, tongue-tied. Rubber, baby, beggy, bubby bumpers is what Paul always tells me to say. That way I can enunciate clear. Paul's got a million of them, I swear. But why?
I'm a kernel.
Of something. Of popcorn, mainly.
No, I am actually a kernel.
You know, why do you want something like this for your astrophotography needs? It's been heavily adopted now. Still can be used as visual. Don't get me wrong. Both of these mounts can still be used as visual. I use mine for astrophotography. I don't do visual. The only time I actually do visual astronomy is when my kids are involved. When both of my boys want to come out and actually see the stuff that I'm looking at. I'd rather them get the whole experience, you know, instead of just looking on a tablet. It's like, oh, it's a pretty picture. You know, to me, that's learning, but it's not giving you the full effect of ooh and ah. You know, I'll never forget it. When me and Kent went to a music lounge before Stars and Sauce, a star party that's held every year around here. took the 20-inch knob and I physically made someone wet. It will always, that's what I want my kids to feel, is like, not the crying aspect, but just the visualization of, you know, you're actually seeing something.
People weep all the time.
Yeah, well, if I had to look at myself, I would weep too. That's here nor there. So I'm glad Paul's feeling really good. We got some great news. We did. Well, me and Paul did. We had a crazy idea. We'll talk about it here in a minute, but let's talk about these first. You know why? I always wanted to start with a heavier base model on a mount. Now, don't get me wrong. I did start out with a different branded mount. I don't know if we can say other branded mount, but it was a different brand. Then I quickly graduated to the Exos 2 PMC8. And then within a year, I graduated to this one. And then I have another one and another one. I have too much, to be honest. I really do. But we're going to talk about the 127. Let's first dive into this 152. I'll take my little pocket knife out here and come down here. You won't see me for a second, so I apologize. So what you get... No, it's fine. They don't need to see me. I'm just taking it out of the box. They don't need to see my bald spot. It's okay.
That you are definitely going to care.
You know, what do you get, honestly, for 1,215 millimeters of focal length? I mean, it's 208. There we go. So the number is 208, or TED 152, 208 CF. So that's what we're messing with. It comes with a 3-inch focuser. Now, why a 3-inch focuser? Because why in the world not? It does come with a 2-inch diagonal.
You will need an adapter.
No, not with this you don't, believe it or not.
The 2-inch diagonal?
It comes with it.
It is the adapter.
It is the adapter. It comes with it. I will show you here in a brief moment. So we do have for visual observers, for sure. We got them covered. The other beauty thing is you don't need extension tubes. Because yes, all our telescopes come with extension tubes. You get quite a bit of packing foam, which honestly you need it with this such of a big scope.
There you go.
Now we can see it. By golly gee williker. And here, folks, is only, honestly, I'm going to hold it like a baby because it is a baby. It's 28 pounds. I'm just going to open it just like this while I'm going to cradle it like a newborn child. I am not going to drop this thing in any way, shape, or form. So one thing you need to be aware of when you get this telescope is the fact that the cradle is not attached. So if you pick it up by the cradle, it's not going to be good for you. Question, I see it, Pekka. Just give me a second here and let me get this thing situated. So I'm going to hold it just like that. And I'm going to come down here and just put it there. And I'm going to grab this box, kick it off to the side on wood paper. Perfect. So, if you can zoom in right there for me, right there on those cradle rings, if you get a second. I know, it's life. Pekka's question. Does mountain have any kind of protection if you get some sort of jam or one of the axes? And or a cogwheel get the smooth discs after a while? I'll have to think on that one, Pekka. It's right here on these cradle rings, if you don't mind. So, you can see here, this is how this comes. You have to be very, very mindful. That's why I held the telescope like a newborn child, because these are not attached. The reason being is because we protect the actual outside. I mean, it's obviously the paper's torn, but I moved it with paper and bubble wrap throughout the whole thing. So please, if you decide to get this, please be mindful. Don't pick it up by the handle, or you're going to drop your very... It's not heavy. It's 22 pounds. That's not heavy for me, but I'm built different. You know, please be mindful of this. I'm going to take everything out so you can see it all in its glory. So I'm just going to rip the rubber band off, because that's what I do. I just rip things. Oop. So now I've got the cradle off. And the beauty part about this cradle is it comes with a D plate. Oh, let me lower that. It comes with a Losmandy D plate, which is handy. It is very handy. Yep, I got it. I got it in frame. So, Peck. Yeah, no, I agree with you. So, Peck, question: does the mount have any kind of protection? If some sort of jam or on one of the axes. So, Pekka, you do get 1 year warranty, manufacturer warranty on that. Break that seal. There it goes. You get 1 year manufacturer warranty. And if you're part of the Explorer Alliance, you're covered as well. And here's another benefit with this scope is the scope dew shield. It's reversible. It's kind of like our older, again, what telescope is that? I wasn't listening. Don't worry, Tarek. I'll make sure I keep reiterating what it is over and over and over until you buy one. Don't worry, I got you, buddy.
Buy 2.
Or 3, you know, depending on your mood.
We're going to go there.
If we're going to go there, we might as well just get 5, by golly. So the dew shield's reversible. Kind of like our older style. We had reversible dew shields at one point, and the lens cap screwed on. But we went away from the screw-on lens caps, and a lot of people had some issues with them, which is understandable. You know, things happen, you know, cross-threading and everything else. So I'm going to get this little piece of rubber band off real quick. There it is. I'm going to put these cradle rings that come with a D plate back on. So I don't know if Paul wants to readjust the camera, because once I get this thing up, I'm going to mount it. I know you are. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. So normal cradle, normal rings, just like anything else. Come on. There it goes. It takes a minute to get started, that's for sure. Oh, I got to come down here. Oh. Yeah, ED 152CF.
$64.99.
Yep, that's correct. Now this one's the little one.
You got a bigger one?
165. Yep. All right, I'm going to put this on a table. So I'm going to grab it like a newborn baby. I can't see it, buddy. Stand by. Yes. Noah showed it to me.
There's 2 of them I got in here. One's $24.99.
No, it's not the $24.99. I can tell you that right now. It's the $64.99.
I just don't deal with it.
I know you don't. That's why I'm here. So, questions of questions. So I will show the dew shield coming off here in a second. First, I just want to slide this in. First, I'm probably going to have to adjust it. And that's what I love about the Losmandy, is it has dual saddle. Yeah, it's a big telescope. Yes, it is. It's not as big as it is right now because I have the dew shield on. I don't have it flipped. When I flip it, it adds another 2.5.
Can you drag it in a little bit?
Yeah, I will. I'll move it just a second. Well, I can turn the deck. Well, you want me to go?
But you're almost out of frame.
Okay, folks, what I'm about to do is you do not do ever.
This is wrong. Don't do that.
This is wrong. Do not do this ever, 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 ever. Now that we got that covered, I'm literally just going to pick it up and move it. How about now?
It's like only you and I and very few other people could actually pull that off.
Just me and Paul.
No.
Just me and Paul is about the only ones.
You know, we went toe-to-toe one day. You
can't tell people that. This is a family-friendly show. Family-friendly. I'm going to move the other mount real quick.
Football block.
It's true. I'm going to move this just a little bit. That way I can adjust this.
He pretended he wasn't hurt.
That way. Oh, because I wasn't hurt. There's a difference.
See? He likes to pretend.
Okay. I think, and see, the mount's all the way down at the end.
Yeah.
It's literally lowered as low as it can go. As low as it can go. So the dew shield literally slides off, and it's got a little foam wrap around it. Now, one thing I am going to show, I don't know, sounds like the Gremlins. Maybe. We're gonna show this nice, beautiful glass. Is what we're gonna do. This is what 1,200 millimeters of focal length in a glass looks like. Shazam! Isn't that pretty? I tell you what, that pretty right there. I know. So we still stick to the same collimation screws as we have before in the past, and that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the perfect, in my honest opinion, there's something under there, I have to be careful, is honestly the easiest.
Look at all the light that it's reflecting.
Just reflect.
Purple and green reflected.
You have.
That means you're not getting all that extra stray unfocused light.
No, you are not. You need to tighten up that clutch a little bit. Here we go. I mean, look at that. Would you look at that? Look at that big thing. Thing's huge. Would you look at that? All right. Now, here's the fun part. This is how long it is. It's at least over 5 feet long. Easily. 5 feet long.
Sometimes it takes two of us to
Yeah.
see how big it actually is.
I mean, then this is the
I'm 5'10", and what are you?
6'1".
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And this is with the mount lowered all the way down to the floor. If it was higher, Paul couldn't get it in frame, because the mount would literally be right here. This is where the mount saddle plate is. Now, why do you want 1,215 millimeters of focal length, Paul? Why would you want this?
To hit you with it.
Besides that.
I don't know.
Well, with 1,215 millimeters of focal length, this would be perfect, in my honest opinion, for deep sky objects that are real far, like M16. You get the pillars of creation. I'm telling you what, that would be so pretty.
If your seeing is good.
If your seeing is good, that is, realistically, anyone who owns a scope like this should be having an observatory. Oh, 100%. 100% the cat from outer space. Completely agree. But I have used this in my backyard. Granted, it's on a dedicated pier system at home, but I've used the same scope. I have an outdoor shed, but the achromatic white color version. You would, Turek. You would. I have an outdoor shed, and that's where I keep all my telescopes. It's a controlled area as far as humidity. I just let them acclimate with the outside. I just have a controlling for the dew and the humidity on the inside. But that's where I keep all my telescopes. And that's where I keep this big behemoth as well, is out there.
Did you buy this?
The beauty part about it is, yes, I did.
Or, I mean, we get to borrow stuff.
We get to borrow stuff,
lot.
but the difference is I have to do so much testing with different products and different telescopes that I have to get every single one of our telescopes. That way I can provide you guys all the
but you
information
get to take them
that
home
you
for
need.
free, though.
I know, but then I get to use it and do what I want with it.
I agree.
I'm not under a time restriction. I mean, and it's 1,215 millimeters of focal length.
You're such
gorgeous.
a dork.
It's gorgeous, man.
This is how I'm gonna be when we get the red camera.
Yeah, too bad it's coming in my name, so.
I don't care if it's in your name.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't worry.
The
And
camera.
Don't give away secrets. I haven't told anybody about
Camera
it
is not monogamous.
yet. No, camera don't care. Camera do not care. So I'm just going to turn this over real quick. I try to get you a good view of it. It's going to be the 3-inch foot. You need 2 of them to make binoculars. We actually have quite a bit of them. The cat from outer space. We have 2. We actually have quite a few in stock. Believe it or not. What is the total? The total length, Pekka, that's what I'm fixed to show you, is how long the draw tube is. So, I don't know if, Paul, you're able to, you may have to get a tighter.
What do you want me to do?
Let's get a tighter shot of the focuser. I'm going to move it.
Okay. Just leave
because
it there.
I
I can get it.
Okay.
Let me grab the other camera, though.
is I'm wanting, there, that's good right there, honestly. That's good right there, I think, if you want to get it right in there. You need two of them to make binoculars. I completely agree. So, let me kick this out so you don't have a glare off the. So we have the standard 3-inch focuser right here. It's a standard 3-inch. We have a rotation knob, which I don't have an Allen set. You have one Allen, two Allen, and one at the bottom, so you can rotate the whole focuser. Or you can actually use these here. Oh, come on, turn. Oh, actually that's not, it's this one. I was right.
Better smarter than a telescope.
No, no. Well, that's the thing, is it's changed from the last iteration. We've changed it.
Better?
Yes. It is a whole lot better.
Because they can't hear me.
So with the last iteration, it was polished aluminum. Now we went with a brushed as well. We went with a little bit better fine machinery. I told the guys that we need to have easy accessibility to the actual focuser. That way, if we want to adapt something else to it in the astrophotography community, some people like to put automation, different focusers, so we need to have the ability to just take it off, take it on. So that pulls the whole entire focuser off, and it's just held in by this little groove channel. Come on, get in there. I believe in you. Gotta line it up just right. There it goes. We'll tighten that back down real quick. So Pekka asked the question, how long is it with the extent to everything? So normal 10:1. So most of our focusers on the smaller scopes, the 127 behind me, the 102, the 80, they stop about right there. Well, we're going to call that the 40 millimeter mark, or the 4 millimeter mark. Yeah, we're going to keep going, believe it or not. Right there. It's 880. It's 8 millimeters. That is long. This thing doesn't need an extension tube. It doesn't. It is long.
You sure?
Yes, because it doesn't.
It's a 3-inch eyepiece. It's bigger around.
Well, that's the thing, is they don't come with extension tubes. Ooh, mounts everywhere. Mounts are everywhere. About ate it. Yeah, there's no extension tubes. Just
He
like I
likes
thought.
this
No
a little
extension
too
tubes.
much.
Yeah, I know. So Pekka, you don't need an extension tube on here unless you're using Barlows. If you're using Barlows, you have the ability to put on extension tubes, of course. I only have 200 cms to play with on my balcony when mount is centered. Oh, 200 centimeters?
Yeah.
I'd have to do the conversion. I can't do it on the top.
We're Americans. We use feet.
Yeah, we use meters and feet
don't
sometimes.
use meters.
Sometimes.
Unless it's a voltmeter.
But Pekka, if you're able to give me the conversion, I can help you out, try to figure it out. It also depends on how much your mount can hold. That's the other thing, because I mean, this thing is 22 pounds. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 1,216 millimeters of focal length. I was off by 1 millimeter. Rats. So this, again, would be great for planetary, great for deep sky objects.
78 to 74 inches, what?
78 to 74 inch, I think, yeah. Total in length, I don't have a tape measure on me. I don't know if Paul possibly has one. Or does Noah have one by chance? Let's see, let's measure this whole thing out with dew shield extracted. And,
Wow.
and focuser all the way out, just for Pekka.
How big would Jupiter be with a 15 eyepiece in this monster?
It's 56 inches, Pekka. From the top of the dew shield with the end of the thumb knob of the 2-inch. It's 56 inches. Hope that helps you a little bit.
How large would
How big would Saturn be?
Yeah.
I mean, at 1,216 millimeters of focal length, you will see the big red spot pretty darn easily. You will see the bands pretty
Using
darn
what
easily.
eyepiece?
Do what?
Using what eyepiece?
Honestly, An 82-24 would be good. You could see Jupiter in that.
And of course, this all depends on your seeing.
Even if you're seeing is poo, you'll still be able to make it out a little bit. I mean, but if it's god awful, then you'll be able to see the planet.
Last time I tried to look was about 2 winters ago.
Yeah.
Because last winter I was busy doing other stuff. You know what I mean? Anyway, so 2 winters ago I looked and I couldn't. All I saw was just a big blob.
No, it also could have been
the seeing was terrible.
Could have been the seeing. And yes, Tarek, you are correct. If you're going to use a Barlow, you're using it for imaging planets and the moon, maybe. Sometimes the sun, if you're using a chromosphere. For deep sky objects, you can use a flattener or reducer. Good point. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That brings me up to my next point.
Yeah, the bottom end of it's just out of frame altogether.
That's fine. I'm bringing it back around, so it doesn't matter.
Hit the camera with it.
I could, to be honest. And I'm going to.
What are you wanting to do?
Don't worry, I can see the camera just fine. I know what I'm doing.
I don't care about the camera. I care about the next shot.
I'm just going to show the 3-inch. So with our, I don't have it with me. Darn it. Our field flattener focal reducer, like Tarek says, astrophotographers use flatteners or reducers. With this particular scope, if I stop hitting everything, I'm going to bring out the focuser a little bit. You have the ability to either go 2-inch for a 2-inch flattener, or the fact, come on, loosen it a little more, 3-inch as well. I can put our FFFR in there just with everything on. I don't have to worry about screwing it on with an adapter or anything. I can literally just bonk, throw it in, and I'm done. I don't have to mess with anything. I really don't. I mean, that is a huge image circle.
Where's a quarter or something?
A quarter?
Something, anything.
I don't have a quarter, unfortunately.
Use the key.
I don't have keys on me.
You run the arm.
Boop.
Yeah. It's bigger than your wrist.
No, it's a lot bigger than my wrist. It's bigger than your wrist. It's almost as big as my leg.
Little bitty leg.
Little bitty legs. You know, that is a nice, solidly built focuser. It really is. And that's the other thing. I'd have to look at the specs for the image circle. That way, if you want to use full frame cameras, you will have no problem whatsoever.
Well, the red may actually cover that entire, get covered by that, because it's got that weird flat. It's got the cinemascope.
Yep. Would you quit telling people secrets? I haven't told them yet.
They don't know what a red is.
Well, they will here momentarily.
Right. So it's just like, what is they talking about? What are they talking about? What are they talking about?
Why do you want a Losmandy G11? Well, the fact is, it holds a lot of weight. Granted, this is only 22 pounds in its entirety, without any kind of imaging setup or anything. It's 22 pounds. It's the reason why we went with the carbon fiber edition. Because of that reason, we wanted to keep it light. That way it's easily to transport. And I think it's hitting the mount. Oh, it's hitting the screws. So you back out the screws a little bit. And then the dew shield sits right in it. Tighten up the dew shield. Bam! You're done. It does come with the new finder base. All our scopes now, the new ones, if it says -02 in it, in the SKU, it'll come with the new finder base foot. Now what that new finder base foot will do, it allows you to use Orion Cinta style shoes or feet, and the same with the Mead Explorer Scientific as well. I need to move this scope, that way it's not in my field of view. So I'm going to do, again, do not do what I do. Ever. Ever.
Question from Tariq.
Question, go ahead. I don't see it. Let's see. Can this mount hold? Oh gosh, yes. That's the beauty part. It holds 60 on paper. Comes with one 21-pound counterweight. Tariq, yes, it will hold. The other beauty part about it is, Tariq, is it's easy to disassemble. Really easy to disassemble. And I'm going to just move this scope right here real quick. I don't have the wrench Oh, it's loose. I'll be darned. So say I'm done for the night. Paul may have to adjust the shot. I do apologize, Paul.
We're just looking at the top of your head.
Yeah, well, it's just a bald spot, folks. It's okay.
It's not.
Happens. Happens to the best of us. So I'm done imaging, right?
So,
Go ahead.
Pekka is trying to be a silly man here.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well, I already have one silly man. Why do I need two?
So Pekka, unequivocally, I know for a fact that we can absolutely not honor that price.
No. I'm pretty sure I said $64.99. $6.99 never did come out of my mouth. I can promise you that. But good try, Pekka. Good try. So, Tarek, say I'm done imaging for the night, and I want to put up. You know, I'm done. The beauty part about with this laws mandate, again, I'm going to do what you're not supposed to do, is I'm going to get it in frame. So, I want to take it apart.
Keep trying to break it, man.
I'm not going to break it. This thing is freaking stainless steel. Machine stainless steel here in America.
I didn't say you were going to break it. I said you were trying to break it.
So you have two clutch release knobs, or pressure knobs here at the bottom. With our Laws Mandy G11 with PMC8, it comes with an RA extension kit. The reason for the RA extension kit, so you can go a little bit farther past meridian. You don't have to worry so much about meridian flips. To a degree, you still got to worry about them, but it just gives you a little bit more leeway, 100% of the time. So you'll loosen these two silver knobs, and it comes right out. That's 30 pounds. Well, without the counterweight, it's 30 pounds, 30-ish pounds. Same with the RA version.
A lot of metal.
It is a lot of metal. It's a whole lot of metal. You got three on the bottom end that holds the RA in place. You have three Allen's bolts. It's the same basic thing. You twist, you pull up, and that's the other head. And that's why I like this mount, is other than the fact that it's made right here in USA, it's easy to disassemble. So as I get older, and it's part of life, we all get old. It's what happens, Paul's. The natural things is we get old.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, no, we all can't be 20-something in a 50-year-old mind. I want the ability to have transportation accessible, so I don't have to strain moving a couple 100-pound mount that's fully assembled. I don't want to have to strain. I don't. Because I've blown my back out once, had to have surgery on it. Telling you recovery on it is long, and it is long, and it is long. I'm still kind of recovering. Can't move as much as I used to, because I'm afraid to an extent.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to re-injure myself, because it's literally miserable. Without your back, you are the most miserable person ever. Because it hurts. It really hurts. At least it did for me.
Well, without a back or a sense of humor.
True.
Just saying.
Or backbone. Anyway, we're digressing. These motors are stepper motors that are on this particular PMC8, which I believe this is Scott's old one, and they've been replaced, I believe, with servo motors. I'd have to double verify with that. I believe they've been replaced with our newer motors. So how this works, Scott Losmady, and our very own Scott Roberts, former founder and president of Explore Scientific, got together and said, Scott, let's make our products merge and make a beautiful mount, and here it is. You have the ability to use or get an upgrade called a one-piece worm block, so that way you're able to adjust just a little bit of fractions of how much teeth are actually hitting the worm on the gear. Same with the RA.
You're in one now.
Say again?
You're in one.
Okay. So they have the ability to get perfect contact, so you don't have slop, you don't have gear problems, you don't have backlash. It's a perfect marry between those two scopes. Yeah. So that's, and it's 60-pound payload. That's on paper. You honestly could probably push it to 80.
But
I wouldn't recommend it.
You have to keep in mind,
something
happens and it's obvious it was overloaded. There is no warranty.
Correct. I don't know why you zoomed on me when I was getting a drink of water.
Because you shouldn't be drinking on camera.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm thirsty and dehydrated. You shouldn't be eating in front of me. How about that?
I'm having lunch.
Exactly. Tomato, tomato. So,
Yes, there's
again,
many
I would
tomatoes in
honestly,
here.
if you're looking for a new mount, ones that we have in stock, one you're going to get great customer support with. It comes with the Explorer Scientific PMC-8. I don't have the silver box on it because I'm working on it and I'm upgrading it to the newest firmware. This is what I would use. If you're looking for a mount to be done with, this is the mount that I would honestly go with. Granted, mine's sitting on, well, it's not on the pier. It's sitting on the tripod in my shed, but I pick it up, move it around every night when I want to image, which I don't have anything to image this week because of clouds. So Tarek, what did you buy? Pekka, what did you buy? Because the astrophotography gods are angry, very angry. Somebody bought something, and now I have clouds all week, and I have projects to finish.
So you're telling me I can't wash my car?
I don't think, I mean, you can today, but it's going to rain tomorrow. And it's supposed to be cloudy all day tonight, or all night. Okay. So let's move on. If you have any more questions about the laws, Mandy, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll answer them. And that's the beauty part is, it's not far. It's really not far, but golly, it's heavy. Whoo-wee. So let's talk about the next one. The IXOS 100. Oh, geez. Kent's got me brainwashed with that one. This is the Exos 2 with PMC-8. Again, it's Exos 2 with PMC-8. What I have sitting on top of it is obviously the Explorer Scientific flagship 127 Essential Series. This one is the Essential Series. We have a comment. I'm waiting for it to come on board. There it is. Tyler, can you tell me why I should change my Celestron CGX to a Losmandy G11 or Losmandy 11? Pekka, because we support Losmandy G11 with PMC-8. Nothing wrong with this. I don't know the capacities. Maybe Paul could look up the Celestron CGX when he gets a minute and just tells me the weight capacity.
I'm eating.
I know he's eating, so we're taking away from his eating habits, which is bad.
They're not bad. They're just excessive. They're not bad. They're just excessive.
Excessive.
That's all.
So I don't have any. I know Celestrons come with a hand controller, but if you're familiar with the PMC-8 system, you can use Windows, you can use ASI Airs, you can use tablets, you can use all sorts of wonderful stuff to get it up and running and going. And I think the CGX.
Oh, much different.
Yeah, it's a whole different style. Can you just tell me the weight capacity for it?
55 pounds.
So Pekka, that's 55 pounds, so this thing's already got it beat already. The other thing is, does it say in there, Paul?
Belt drive.
And it's belt driven. This one's stepper motor. It gives you, so Jerry
spring-loaded brass worm wheel.
Yeah, everything uses brass worms. Does it tell you, is it able to break apart? Like, is there a section where it says head mount weight and body weight or anything else by chance? That's fine.
Give me a second.
No, you're good. So the Celestron comes with a hand controller. Ours does not, unfortunately. But we're able to you can use a Windows unit, Android tablet, an Apple Pad, computer, Windows. You can use Macs if it's the older version. M1, it can be done. You have to boot camp into it and do all the wonderful jazz. You can use ASI Airs with it as well. I don't think it does come apart, Paul.
I don't think so either.
It may say like total weight or head capacity, possibly.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't come apart. It's all
a
lot of it's just one piece.
So I bet the head mount comes off, kind of like our Exos 2s. It's probably.
I don't think so.
It may be 35, 40 pounds on the head mount.
I don't.
Maybe bigger.
I don't think it's.
Well, it's got a handle.
I don't think it. I'm sitting there looking at it, and I don't think it's in the same class as the Losmandy.
No, I can tell you right now it's not because.
And I don't even know what I'm looking at, and I can already tell you.
So what I was saying is Jerry Hubble, our very own Jerry Hubble, Vice President of Engineering, who came up with the PMC-8 system, has this mount, and he gets 0.2. 0.0 0.2 to 0.06 on guiding. What's your guiding like, Pekka, with that CGX? Are you able to tell me? I'm telling you, when you get this thing tuned up and ready to go, you won't even have to touch it anymore. The only thing you'll have to mess with is putting a telescope on it and covering it. That's it. It's a honest tank. And the other beauty part about it is you can explore scientific customer support. Always there to help you out whenever you're having issues.
You can call and actually talk to Tyler on the phone.
Person, me, Annie, or any other member of my staff in the customer service realm, we will honestly give you the best experience and make sure
Height
that
adjustable to 1200 millimeter or 47.25 inches.
Okay.
So the other one's taller. It's going to hold a bigger scope. Mount head weight is 44 pounds.
So this one's actually lighter because you're able to break it apart into three sections technically if you count the
Tripod
legs.
weight is 20 pounds or 19.2.
So we'll just call it even 20. So what was the head mount again? The head mount weight? 40?
44 pounds.
That's heavy, Pekka. I mean, each head of this is easily to disassemble, and it just breaks apart in 3 pieces. That's it. Honestly, I'm not knocking Celestron, but
And it's hand controller.
well, there is a hand controller. That's a good benefit, but that's also an opponent that could break.
I don't know. I don't like hand controllers.
Some people don't. With some of the old schoolers, they swear up and down about hand controllers. I grew up with hand controllers. I had a Celestron AVX. You know, I liked it. Didn't like the mount. Upgraded to something better, which was this one. And it did take some time getting used to without a hand controller. It really did. But once I understood the system, I was done. I don't think I could. I mean, I could use a hand controller, but you know, I don't.
If you're doing astrophotography,
I'm on a computer anyway.
Huh?
I'm using a computer or a
That's
tablet.
where I'm going.
Yeah.
If you're doing astrophotography, you're either hardwired or you are Wi-Fi'd into the camera. And
Yeah, you're right, because like the ASI Air, for instance, it's able to be Wi-Fi'd in.
yeah,
You
and you could
basically remote
sit
to it. Yeah.
in your lawn chair away from the telescope
sit
within
in my
what,
house.
30 yards?
Oh,
Yeah, but if
farther
you're
than
out
that.
somewhere. Huh?
Farther than that.
No, if you're just using the Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Bluetooth only goes 50 feet, so.
Well, we don't have Bluetooth yet, but we're definitely working on it, and it's one of those things that we are getting.
I didn't mean that
Yeah.
that way. I meant there's a limited
Wi-Fi
range on
signal.
this stuff.
It depends on the line of sight. Wi-Fi signal can actually go pretty far. It also depends on your Wi-Fi traffic around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
As well.
So if you're at a dark sky site, you're probably going to be good.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you could just set it up away from your trailer.
You can sit in the car in the AC and just control your mount.
Well, you could, if you have like Kent does. He's got his little motorhome,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
You could set it up 100 yards away,
Yeah.
and you could roast marshmallows
Exactly.
and not mess with your night viewing, or with anybody else's night viewing that's over there, because it's far enough away. And if it's not a party, it's just you.
Correct.
You're good,
Exactly.
and you could, talk and do whatever, and then look, there's some more Starlink.
He had to mention Starlink. Had to mention. Hi, Mimi Lou. How are you? So yeah, Pekka, I'm not saying that Celestron's a bad mount. I prefer. I mean, maybe it's just my unbiased opinion, but I like the Losmandy's better. The feel's better. There's no plastic. It's straight metal. It is straight steel. Everything on it is steel, and you can tell it's well made. Everything's polished to a high grade polish. So yeah, and it's smooth. It's really, really smooth. But anyway, let's move on. We have again the ED127. Why do you want to go with an ED127 compared to the big behemoth 152?
I was using the 107 last week.
What 107? There was a 107?
The ED or 102. 102. I always say 107 for some reason.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
I don't know why.
We forgive you this time.
Well, you want to talk cameras?
No,
Then,
because you know more. But if you want to talk about dedicated cameras, like astronomy cameras,
Yeah, I don't want to know anything about those.
then I don't want to know anything about DSLRs. Go away. It's exactly. With an ED-127, you're getting 952 millimeters of focal length. Now, if you throw a reducer on there, that's our reducer, a 0.7, it's 666. Yep, 666. That's a wide range for this nice piece of glass sitting in front to gather all that beautiful light.
I think it's really cool to see the coatings
Yeah, see the
bounce
coatings.
off that bad light.
Yeah.
It's interesting because that's
It
what
is,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
All that green stuff.
All that green is the protective coating that's fully multi-coated, extra low dispersion.
Yeah, it's pushing out the bad light,
like,
and it's
no.
not getting in the tube.
Exactly. And that's why I like this scope. That's why I have this scope, because and to me, this is why I call this our flagship scope. Scott will argue with me back and forth about it. It's kind of like our eyepieces.
Which one does he feel?
He likes all of his stuff. Yeah. Scott will never, ever talk bad about his equipment, ever.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like, this is our flagship. It's our
Yeah.
thing.
Astronomers collect photons from deep space. We do. We do the cat from outer space. We 100% do. And this is why I use this big giant photon beam of light catching abilities. I wish I had bigger. I mean, other than the fact, I got the 152. Sometimes I wish I had bigger, but again, it's pushing the mount's capacity at that point, because if I go any bigger than a 152 or a 165,
Custom.
I'm going to have to spend a lot of money on a mount. A whole lot.
Or build one.
No, it'll cost twice as much if I just build one. They build one correctly.
Why?
Because it's expensive.
Why is it expensive? I'm curious.
So if I wanted the best of the best, I'm spending twice as much. Because more than
You're physically building it yourself, though.
Yeah, but I don't have a machine shop, so I would have to find a machine shop that can build it. That's going to cost twice as much.
Excuses.
Yeah, but it's part of life. Full of them. Full of them. So with a 152, darn it, with a 127, it's got 952 millimeters of focal length. This is what I consider the flagship. Now, Tarek may have to correct me on it, because I'm going to be using Barlow's again. Now, for planetary, you can put a Barlow focal extender, anything on it to do some solar visual learning or imaging. Just make sure you put the correct filter on it in the front, because at 127 millimeters or 127 inches across or millimeters, you're going to need an energy rejection filter to displace or disperse all of that heat from entering into the tube and frying everything in your sensor, eyeball, whatever else. Speaking of which, please be careful when you're looking at the sun with telescopes. You will go permanently blind.
Yeah.
Permanently blind, and it won't take but a very quick second. You will look at it and you'll be instantly blind. So this scope comes with 2 extension tubes that you'll thread on here in the back with a 2-inch diagonal. So you can achieve focus with a camera or an eyepiece. It's usually recommended that with a camera, it's 2 extension tubes. With an eyepiece, it's 1. And then you'll just throw the diagonal in there, put an eyepiece on it, you're done. You can get to your viewing of either Saturn, Jupiter. Depending on where Mars is, you can see Mars. You can actually see the the ice cap on Mars, as well with this particular scope. And this is why I like it. This is why I call it kind of the flagship, because I can do almost anything. It's kind of a good versatile scope. It does amazingly well for deep sky objects. In my opinion, that's why I have one. With the native 952 millimeters of focal length, you have the ability to capture a lot of deep sky objects and fit it in most fields of view, depending on the camera sensors that you use as well. All of it is dependent on what type of equipment you use, whether it be mounts, cameras, filters, all of it. Everything is codependent and dependent, actually just dependent on what you're wanting to do. Again, please do not do what I do. I'm a trained professional, sort of.
Well, you don't go in the pound.
Well, just lift with your legs, not with your back. You never want to pick up a mount that's fully loaded at all. Ever, ever, ever.
I've walked around the parking lot.
Well, don't do that, please.
They can barely hear me.
I know, but just don't do that. It's not recommended. It's really not. So with the 127 deep sky objects, M16, Orion's Nebula, the Running Man, you can, with the reducer, you can get Andromeda's galaxy in this whole thing. That's incredible. It really is, because we all know that Andromeda's 4 to 6 full moons across. So if you stick your thumb out straight in the air, they can't see me because they're looking at my shirt, and you hold your thumb, your hand straight out in front of you, and you stack them on each other, I think it's 4 to 6. Kent's not here to correct me. I miss Kent. Kent is actually at a star party.
We got a clip of him and Scott talking.
Oh,
I'm not quite sure what they're saying.
Can we possibly roll it, or do I need to give you a little bit?
Get a second.
Okay. So
I've got it. Just give me a second.
you just got to give it a second. So I would, if you're looking and getting into astronomy, hang on, I got to drink water. I'm sorry.
No.
If you're looking to getting into astronomy, an ES 127 is always a great starting point to go with, even for visual or for dedicated astronomy cameras. The reason being is because it can almost do everything. If you want to look at planets, it does great for visual planets. If you want to do imaging, same thing, even when you throw a reducer or a flattener in here. Because I'm actually working on the Rosette Nebula with the 127 FCD 100 version, and I can literally get right up on top of the elephant's trunk.
Yeah, Kent, he's in, where is he?
He's in Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Not Nebraska. Just
Nebraska?
Just Nebraska, Paul.
Kenny.
So we're going to let Kent and Scott, hopefully you'll hear
Not quite
them.
sure what they're going to say, but we'll see.
We'll see. Good luck.
Or maybe not.
He's got to hit that magical play button. There he goes.
It's playing now.
There's a class this
Can't hear him.
afternoon from 2 to 4 at Valentine High School.
Right.
And so
And of course, we're talking about the Nebraska Star Party. So, but it got kicked off today. Is that right?
actually started off last night sort of with a welcome ceremony, and it was cloudy, so everybody just sort of sat around. It rained about, 1 o'clock in the morning, a little bit, and it's clearing off right now. I'm going to go set up. I'm going to get some lunch, and I'm going to go set up at Valentine High School and have 82 millimeter giant binoculars out there for people to look at the sun with.
Sure.
It's a really nice spot, so people will love that. And I got some other stuff I'm going to set up.
Very cool. Yeah,
Yep.
so I got a message back from John Johnson, who is one of the guys that heads up Nebraska Star Party, and he says there's pretty nice turnout already. How many people have already shown up?
How many people? My wife is sitting here with me. What, 100
I'd
people?
say probably 100 people.
Probably 100 people were there last
People
night.
or so? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I know more are coming, so
Yeah,
come
there's
as it gets closer to the weekend.
correct. There's supposed to be like 300 registered, I think. So it's going to be a pretty good sized event if they all show up. And was just looking at the forecast and talking to a guy we ran into that we talked to last night. He said tomorrow night looks like it's going to be a really good night. Then Thursday and Friday are going to be good.
Yeah.
Start going to get 2 or 3 nights of good viewing in, and it's Merritt Reservoir is what, 30 miles south of west of Valentine, and about 50 miles north of a little town called Mullen, and there's just no light pollution out
It's
there.
dark out there. I know. That's great. Weather, is it hot, or is it how's the temperature?
It's 77 degrees right now, Scott.
77. That's nice weather. Yeah. That's
It is
nice.
like humidity is like 35%, and so the cautionary tale is we got to make sure we're drinking plenty of water, because at 35% humidity, you don't realize what, and so you don't start drinking enough water.
That's
and
right.
Didn't
Right.
drink enough water. I drank a bunch of water last night, this morning,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
boy, it's beautiful. It's beautiful here.
That's great. So tomorrow I'll be taking off for Albuquerque for the Astronomical League conference. It'll be the first time they've had one in a while. Although Nebraska Star Party, they've kind of trudged through COVID and still are having live events, so that's really cool. We expect to have a lot of really great speakers there. I hope to get with you live later from the field during that schedule. So I'll be publishing that schedule here pretty soon. And just announcing basically when we're going to have Astronomical League live, or Alcon live, from Albuquerque, and we'll keep you in touch as Explore Scientific is out there live from the road. So
I don't know what to say because you're still
thanks
playing
for
music.
tuning in.
Sweet, I'm back. So that's what Kent's doing currently right now in Nebraska. I couldn't hear what he was talking about, so I'm assuming he was talking about the weather, if I had to guess, because I know.
100 people out there last night.
Yeah, when he got there Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, it was around noonish. He says there was already a crowd there. It's like, that's incredible. It really is incredible. And the weather is, I heard, a lot cooler compared to. It's a Bortle 1 sky zone, which is insane.
Those who don't understand what Portal 1 is.
For those who don't understand or know what a Bortle 1 is, can you explain that?
So Bortle, I don't know the scientific behind it, but there's
generic
a
explanation.
there's a scale for light pollution. It's called the Bortle scale. It's numbers 1 through 10 or 1 through 9. 0 is the complete darkest, but I don't even think there is a complete dark area that's 0.
The stars themselves create enough light to make it not a 0.
Exactly. So it's a 1 through 9. 9 being the worst, and that's in a white light zone. That's like major cities: Dallas, Fort Worth, Tokyo, California, San Francisco, giant cities. If you look up and you can see maybe 1 or 2 stars, if you're lucky. That's probably a Bortle 8. Bortle 9s, you can't see nothing, almost. It's literally the hardest thing to try to...
You'll see the moon, though.
You can see the moon. Oh, gosh, yeah. You can see the moon, the planets, those types.
Bright
But like
enough.
constellations are very hard to see in those higher Bortle zones. But the lower that number gets, like a 4 to 1 is when you start seeing the Milky Way. You'll start seeing it's actually it can be confusing and deceiving to some people, because people who have never seen the Milky Way ever in their life, they think it's just a cloud, which theoretically it is just a cloud, but it's just a giant
Oh
cloud.
my God, it's full of stars.
It's full of stars. And they honestly just think it's a cloud. And it's honestly those awestruck moments. It really is those awestruck moments. So, Lee, it's already 3 o'clock, dadgum. That flew by. But let's talk about some good news that's coming here for me and Paul. So Paul had a crazy idea last week. He's a cinematographer guy. I'm obviously.
I make movies.
He makes the movies. I do astrophotography when I can, depending on the weather. So Paul had a crazy idea. If anybody's ever heard of Red Cinema cameras, Red Cinema is a cinematography camera, dedicated cinematography.
Most of the films and TV shows, there's a Sony F55, which is TV shows like Castle, if you remember that old one. That's what that was shot on.
Yeah.
Then you got the Arri Alexa, which is all the Bond movies are shot on the Arri Alexa.
Yep.
And of course the lenses are all interchangeable.
Of course.
So you can get all kinds of different kinds of lenses. And then you've got the Panavision, which you can't buy, you can only rent, and that's film.
Of course.
And then you've got Red cameras, which
red cameras.
I would say 50%, all the Marvel movies, Marvel movies were shot on a Red camera.
So what's the benefit of using a Red camera? Well, the fact that it's a cinema camera, it's got 17 stops of dynamic range. Paul's going to have
more than 17.
More than 17 stops. So that thing will soak in so much low light, or basically no light.
Light.
If I was in a dark room, you could see me plain as day.
Not if it was
Well, let me
completely
rephrase. If I had 2 or 3 candles just kind
No,
of
one match.
one match strategically placed in my hand,
No, yeah, just hold it in front of your face.
right here in front of my face would be so well lit, it's ridiculous.
It's
It's
a lot of times that sensor can see more light than your eye ever thought about to seeing. And our eyes are pretty good in low light.
not camera good.
Not that camera good.
Not that camera good.
Nope.
But he had an idea. What if were able to get one of those cameras to shoot astrophotography with? And I reached out to Red Cinema and just asked them, hey, I work for Explore Scientific. I do this, I do that. Is it possible that we can meet on the phone, talk about what we want to do, and see if we can't get a test one to bring in? And I was notified today that me and Paul
We should see one.
are going to get one in August.
But to borrow.
To borrow, of course. I supply the camera lenses because I have some camera lenses.
So do
Paul
I.
has some camera lenses. I just asked that if it has a way to power on and you give me some adapters, we'll be fine. And they said that they'll get one out to us in August. I was like, Paul's going to be finally happy.
Oh, I'm going to borrow the crap
This is
out of that thing.
normally a $40,000 camera and up.
Which is
That's
not
on
bad.
the low end of up as
Yeah.
well.
A couple years ago, I looked at them and I priced it out, and the brain is $25,000, and you've got to add all this different stuff onto it, and you
Yeah.
can't buy it anywhere but from Red,
Of
maybe
course.
B&H or somewhere like that. You know, you can't get it,
No. you
and
can't.
it's very specific product. But I wondered, because it has such a sensitive sensor,
Mm-hmm.
and it can do 2K 160 frames a second at like a 3,000 or a 30,000 ISO and zero noise. I'm just thinking to myself,
crazy.
what you guys are talking about in the astronomical
Astrophotography.
astrophotography world, that camera is like perfect for what you guys want to do.
Maybe. We're going to test it.
We're going
and
to
see.
find out,
We're
but
going to test and see.
on paper, it seems like it might just be perfect.
Yeah.
And no one's ever thought about trying this.
Well, it's because it's $40,000.
Well, no, it was $200,000.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
It's a big test experiment.
Yeah, but that's why manufacture as we are, and manufacture as they are. That's the benefits. We get to do this kind of stuff sometimes.
That's true. But
And
again, guys,
It's going to be interesting.
It will be very interesting, and we'll make
What
sure
do
to
you
keep
think's going to
everybody
happen?
up to date.
What do you think's going to happen?
What do I think's going to happen?
It's going to be really heavy on the back ends. 5 pounds just for the brain.
I'll put it on a tracker. It'll be fine. I'll put it on a small tracker.
Wait it out.
Yeah. I just want to use it with a telephoto lens. I don't even want to put a telescope on it. I want to put it on a prime fixed
Dude,
lens.
You need to put our most expensive one on. Put it on that.
Which
Put it
one
on the
is-
thing. Put it on that Lost Mandy.
Oh, the mount?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that
I mean, I can
camera
mount a quarter
and that-
20 to it
in that 3-inch thing. Throw it on there.
at 152.
Yeah.
I could.
No, I'm serious because
could.
they're, might as well give them the best opportunity to be the best.
It's true.
But
But
I mean,
that's
just
going to
do
be
it all.
that's going to be today's show on Amazon Live. We got to get
Tyler
ready
wants
for.
to leave.
I've got other things I have to do. I have to get ready for Dr. Daniel Barth on how do you know.
Remember, he wants 2 Cokes. You need to
Yep,
get that out of
and
the
I got to
cooler.
get the man some Cokes. He's a very, very strategic man. So
He wants those Cokes.
He wants those Cokes. Again, my name is Tyler. Thank you for tuning in. You're going to have me all week here on Amazon Live, so I do apologize now.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be here tomorrow.
And Paul's not going to be here tomorrow, so that's going to be great. So I'm going to be running the show while doing the show. I love this.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. It's great.
No, I won't be here Friday, so somebody's going to have to run the show Friday.
That won't be too bad, I guess.
And Monday.
That
I'm
means
not
you'll
gonna
have
be
to
here
train
next Monday.
somebody. I think you need to train Annie on how do you know with Dr. Daniel Barth today. Catch you guys tomorrow. See y'all.
You're out.